Last semester, I received a C in my calculus class. This was the first C I had ever gotten, and I was heartbroken. I believed that the world had toppled over and that everyone had given up on me. But this was not true. I learned that nothing could stop me from moving forward. But in that moment, I faced a fear much like today's topic, the alligator. Alligators are strong, they're humongous. We fear that they can eat us, that they'll harm us. But in fact, if we face them off, they cannot harm us. And so today, we will explore this idea of facing our fears first front by first Nelson Mandela, then He Fengshan, and finally, someone who did not face off his fears and is what we do not want to become, General Shiro Ishii. Now, alligators and fears can come in any forms and any kind. And for the South African people, it came in the form of a government, the apartheid. Just 40 years ago, the apartheid existed, where 3.5 million Black South Africans were forced out of the homes they once rightly owned into segregated communities. And if it weren't for people like Nelson Mandela, who decided that they would face off the fear that society had put them under, then people would still have to face these harsh and bitter realities of the Black South African people. Nelson Mandela embodies the notion that we must face off our fears. We must not be scared off by them, because society is often repressed by fears, thus denying the capacity of change. But we must not fall into this vicious cycle. And Nelson Mandela, he went against the tide, thus saving his population, saving his people from the apartheid and the horrors that accompanied it. Someone much similar to Nelson Mandela is He Fengshan, who served as the diplomat for China, who was posted in Austria during the height of the Nazi regime. He Fengshan was ordered by his superiors to never sign a single Jewish visa, but he did not follow these orders. By doing this, he jeopardized his own career and life, but he was not fearful. He was not fearful of the alligators that were placed in front of him. Instead, he knew what his responsibility was. He knew what he wanted to do with this responsibility and with the power that accompanied with it. And by doing this, he was not repressed by the alligators and not repressed by the fears. He instead made positive change in the world. And by doing this, he leads us and empowers us to do the same. Now, someone who did not do what Nelson Mandela and He Fengshan did was General Shiro Ishii. He also served in the World War II, but a different role. General Shiro Ishii, from a very young age, was praised for his talent in medicine. He ended up going to the most prestigious school for medicine in Japan, the Kyoto Imperial University. But instead of doing good with all of his power, he did bad. He founded the Unit 731, known for medical, human experimentation, and biological warfare. Although many of us will not end up doing as horrendous things as what General Shiro Ishii did, if we are repressed by fears, if we do not succeed the alligator, then it is one of the possibilities. We will fall into a vicious cycle. We will create harm instead of good. We will not be who we want to be. And so today, when looking back at today's prompt, alligator, we saw the importance of facing off our fears and learning from both He Fengshan and Nelson Mandela that this is indeed possible. I learned from these two as well, that a letter on my report card did not change who I was, that I could face the alligator inside, and that I could succeed. And so, by following the words of Nelson Mandela and He Fengshan, we see that everyone has the capacity and the ability to face off the alligator and create positive change. That as long as we dream big and pursue those dreams with unwavering conviction, then we are able to accomplish them. Thank you.